Hello there, and welcome back to the Donor Centric Approach. This podcast is brought to you by MRP Donor Development, where we keep our donors at the center of everything we do, and by our friends and sponsors at Stellar Web Systems, the nonprofit tech solution. I am your host, Orlando Barrows, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about one of the most overlooked, but most important parts of fundraising and development, and that is stewardship. If you want to raise more money over time, if you want to build true donor loyalty and increase lifetime value to your organization, it really isn't about chasing that next big gift. What you need to do is truly care well for the donors that you already have. We say this often. It's a lot easier for somebody who's already giving you $50 to give you a $50,000 gift than someone who has never heard of you that could potentially give you $500,000 to give you that first $50 gift. So today, we're going to be talking about and walking you through how to build a stewardship rhythm for your ministry, your organization that actually works. And to do that, we're going to be covering why most stewardship efforts fall flat. We'll be discussing what donors actually want after they make their gift. And we're going to be ending with a simple and sustainable plan to retain and deepen the donor relationships you already have. Whether you're working with major donors, with monthly givers, or brand new supporters from a recent event or a recent appeal, this episode is going to help you steward more intentionally, steward more consistently, and steward more fruitfully. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's talk about why stewardship often gets overlooked. To do that, let's start with this fact. The truth of the matter is that most nonprofit teams, most nonprofits overall, are just running at full speed. This is not a bad thing. After all, even though you're a nonprofit, you are, in a sense, running a business, right? And because of that, stewardship oftentimes feels like an afterthought. Yeah, we send the automated thank you email, right? Maybe if we're doing really well, we might even send a receipt in the mail. If we're doing really well, we might just send mass newsletters every now and then. But then we move on to the next campaign, the next event, the next appeal, the next program, right? But here's the thing, that gap between giving and reconnecting just continues to grow and become bigger. And that is exactly where we lose people. And when we start losing people is oftentimes because donors start to feel like they're a transaction. They feel like that to you, and they definitely feel like that on their end. They forget, donors that is, they forget why they gave, why your mission is important. They don't know if their gift truly mattered, if they actually made a difference with their support. And when people feel disconnected, when donors don't feel like they're in it with you, they stop giving altogether. So stewardship is the bridge that brings people back. This is beyond just being truly grateful, right? True stewardship is about making donors feel seen, making them feel valued, making them feel involved in what you do. The overall goal of stewardship is making your donors feel like what they truly are: partners in your mission, partners in what it is that you do. So, if that's the case, what do donors really want? What do they actually want after they make a gift, after they make a commitment to your mission, to your organization? So let's talk about three main things that they're usually looking for. First and foremost, donors want to know that their gift made an actual impact. Not just that it was received. They want to know that their support actually did something. This is where knowing your numbers comes into place. If they made a gift of X, did it do Y? Or was it clear to them that that's what it did? Right? So as opposed to saying something like, "Dear John, thank you so much for your gift of $500. It goes a long way. Take care. We are sincerely grateful." That's not bad. But what they need to know is beyond that. "Dear John, thank you so much for your gift of $500. Because of your support, we're going to be able to feed 10 families over the next 2 weeks. Because of your support, we're going to be able to give 50 pairs of socks to those people who are suffering on the streets. Because of your gift, we're going to be able to send support to refugees in South Africa." Whatever it is that you do, make sure that your mission is attached to that gift and that gift made a specific impact. The more you can tailor your gratitude, your thank you to your donor, the better. The more seen they feel, the more valued they feel. Number two, donors want to be thanked in a meaningful way. So this is a step beyond just knowing that they made an impact. And I'm not saying this has to be elaborate. What I am saying is that a meaningful thank you needs to be personal and sincere. You can accomplish that in an email, not an automated email. Everybody knows when they got an automated email. But if the day after or 2 days after, you sent a very genuine thank you email, "Dear John, thank you so much," right? And asking them to connect with you. If you're a ministry, even asking them for prayer request, or if there's anything that you can do for them during this time, right? That's a meaningful way. Calling them, and nobody picks up their phone. We know this, right? But actually calling somebody and letting them hear your voice in a voicemail message. And in your voice, they can hear how sincere and grateful you are. That makes a difference. Again, they want to know, they want to be thanked in a way that's beyond what they usually get. They want to feel like you actually made an effort to thank them. And number three, donors usually want to stay connected to the mission they are supporting. What I mean by that is they want to know how the story continues to take shape. And not only that, but they also want to know that their part in it is still important, that their part in it still matters. So regular updates, when you call a donor or email a donor or text a donor out of the blue, I'm telling you, it's not a nuisance. That actually does so much on their end, even if they don't get back to you. What they see, where they feel on their end is like, oh shoot, they see me. They remember me. They know me. Especially if you were able to connect with them when you thank them properly, right? Like, for example, if they tell you that their granddaughter's having surgery or that they just celebrated their 30th wedding anniversary, right? And then you follow up with them on the day of the anniversary or a couple of weeks after the surgery, right? And you're able to connect what you do with what's going on in their lives personally. That makes such a huge impact. They want to know that their story with you continues, that your story as an organization continues, and that their part in it is important and that it matters. If you're able to give your donors those three things we just mentioned, I'm telling you, at least in my opinion, you are already ahead of 90% of organizations out there. Why? Because the overwhelming majority of ministries and nonprofits overlook stewardship. So then how do we build a stewardship rhythm that actually works? You know me, I like breaking things down into three things. So let's do that now. Let's talk about a simple rhythm that you can implement to build stewardship as part of what you do starting this week, right now. First things first, you want to thank your donors fast and you want to thank them well. So, rule of thumb for me, and I always tell people this, is that we want to send thank yous within 24 to 48 hours. A quick but heartfelt message goes a long way. Again, it's about connecting with them. It's about hearing your voice and seeing truly how grateful you are, right? So whether you use a video message, those are cool. You can use things like Vimeo or even just record a private YouTube video and send it to them. Whether that is a phone call and connect with them via phone or leave out a voicemail message or a handwritten note for them when you can and when you have the time, that means a lot. And that makes a huge difference. Rotate through your staff to do this. Again, so that they don't see that it's just you making this effort. Anyone can send a thank you. And we've talked in previous episodes about the importance of everyone involved in the development efforts for your mission. But thank them fast and thank them well. That's something you can start doing right away. Number two, share the impact that their gift made within 30 days. We don't have to wait to tell our donors what their generosity is doing via our annual report every year. Side note, that's not to say that you don't send annual reports. Furthermore, if you're not sending an annual report every year, think about how to implement that. But again, you don't have to wait until then to let them know the impact their gift is making. You can send a brief story as an update. You can let them know of a stat. Again, John, this is Jane's story. She was one of the families that we were able to serve because of your gift. Hey, 90% of people experiencing homelessness are in that spot because of broken relationships. Let me tell you about Tim, who been able to walk alongside and build a relationship and whose heart is getting healed, and that wouldn't have happened without your support, right? Or just simply share with them a picture of what their gift has made possible, right? Sharing a quick impact also goes a long way. You'll get, by the way, bonus points if the story, the stat, or the picture that you're sending ties back to that one donor's specific area of interest. So if you have a prison ministry and a donor is interested in that, and you just got a letter from somebody in prison who was really affected by your mission in a great way and is thanking you, calling that donor up, sending them that email with that quote or story, my gosh, talk about bonus points. That really goes a long way. Again, it makes the donor feel like you actually know them. And it makes them feel like their gift actually made an impact or a difference in a specific person's life. And number 3, we want to create, or we want to have at least a plan to create what we call delight moments every quarter. And what I mean by that are unexpected but meaningful touches that once again make your donor feel seen and valued. I mean, use your calendar appropriately for this, because maybe you want to send a holiday card, right? Or an invite to a VIP Zoom meeting or a monthly donor coffee or wine and cheese outing. Or a personal update from one of your program staff or one of your leaders who's walking with those who your mission is serving. The key here is to make it about the donor and not another ask. Because oftentimes donors feel like they only hear from you when you want their money. And yes, we want their money. We want their support. But we also want to make sure that they trust us. We want to make sure that we have a great relationship with them. And we want to make sure that they feel like they can continue to support our mission, our organization. So if every now and then, at least every 3 months or so, they hear from you in an unexpected way, that's not an ask, but it's simply a way to thank them properly or to create a delight moment, as we said earlier, that truly makes an impact and makes a difference. And those 3 things, thanking them fast and thanking them well, sharing their impact within 30 days, and creating delight moments every quarter, creates a simple, a scalable, but powerful rhythm that anyone can implement, regardless of the size of the organization or regardless of the type of donor that you're dealing with at the moment. And if you feel like you can really take this on, or you really want to take this on and do it well, I want to tell you that you don't have to do it alone. Here's my bonus tip for the day. Involve more people in your stewardship efforts. Ask board members to help you make this monthly thank you calls. Invite volunteers to write thank you notes with you or for you. Get program staff involved and get them to share either updates or stories of what the mission is actually doing, and share that with donors. And you'll see that momentum continue to carry on forward. And again, the great thing about it is that the donor sees that it's not just you making these efforts, that the entire organization is involved. The more voices your donors hear from, the more valued they're going to feel. It's as simple as that. So let's close with the 3 last actionable steps, or at least the last few actionable steps that you can do right away to get you going and to get you into a position that implementing the 3-part stewardship plan or stewardship rhythm that we just discussed, just to get you started, first thing that I would do if I were you, I would audit your current donor journey, if you even have one. So what I mean by that is after someone gives, what happens? Do you have it mapped out? Do you know exactly what the process is like? If not, map it out and identify those gaps. The more you can plan this out ahead of time, the better, because it's going to create a roadmap for you to follow. A roadmap, by the way, that you created that's specific to you and your mission. Secondly, go ahead and pick 5 donors right now that you know that you already have a relationship with to surprise with a thank you call or an email. I would pick those that you haven't reached out to in a while. And don't wait for a reason. You don't have to have a specific reason to reach out to them. Simply just call them, email them, reach out to them, and thank them again for their support. That call, that email is going to be welcomed on the donor's end. This is not going to be a negative for you. Just simply go ahead and do it. Block 30 minutes this week to build upon your stewardship rhythm. So take that time to list your key and meaningful touch points for the next quarter. You don't have to figure out your whole year, just the next 3 months, right? And assign ownership. And what I mean by that is get other people involved, or at least plan it out so that through the next 3 months, you can start getting people involved in these stewardship efforts. And last but not least, try one delight moment this month with one of your supporters. So send pictures of what their generosity is doing, like behind the scenes photos. Or take your phone out and share a quick video message from a team member that's working in the mission, like a program staffer, right? Or just of yourself, just thanking them. Allow them to see you if they haven't seen you, if they don't know you personally. Doesn't have to be long. It can be nice and simple. But what's most important is to make it human. To make them feel like they can make a connection with you. At the end of the day, good fundraising, good development is all about building good relationships. That is what it's all about. Without those relationships, you don't continue to receive support week after week, month after month, year over year. When you are able to steward your donors well, to build those relationships and maintain them well, they become true partners. They become advocates, evangelists even for your mission. They become ambassadors out there without your knowledge, telling other people about the great work that you're doing. And most importantly, you will become their people. Like if they ever hear, my gosh, I just want to get more active in the nonprofit world and serve those in need. I got a guy. Let me call Orlando real quick and let me make the introduction. He'll tell you what to do. Or here's a way where, like, if you don't have the time, you can give money to this organization. That's what you get when donors feel connected, when you build those relationships, and when they feel like they matter to you, that they are important to you and your mission. So let's not let stewardship be an afterthought. Let's make stewardship, if it isn't already, part of our everyday rhythm. And we will see results. As always, if you feel like what I've said so far has resonated with you. And if you got value out of today's episode, I want to just humbly ask you and encourage you to subscribe to our podcast and share it. Share with fellow nonprofit leaders, with fellow ministry executive directors, and just spread the word about what we're trying to accomplish. If this really has resonated with you and you are a ministry leader or a nonprofit executive, and if you feel like you could use a little bit of help in building your own stewardship plan, I would love to connect with you. In the show notes, you're going to see our link to our Calendly so that you can book your free strategy call, or simply visit our website, mrpdonordev.com, mrpdonor.dev.com rather. And our website is littered with our Calendly links so they can always just schedule your free strategy call with us. As always, I am just honored, excited, and just grateful that you tune in every week to listen to us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for continuing to do what you do. Thank you for building your mission and asking people to support it. See you next time on the next episode of the Donor-Centric Approach. Please remember to keep your donors at the center of everything that you do, and you will see success. Take care and God bless. You're the best.